I'm just going to get right into this.
What are we getting into?
We got the legend coming on the show. Should we announce this? Your dad's favorite fighter. You're doing this for Will. You're doing this for Will Turner.
He made an appearance on Jackass. Now he's making an appearance on the Combat Hour. We're talking about Eric Ash Butterbean.
How stoked is your dad?
Man, he thought it was awesome. He's like, Marshall, that's awesome, man. He's like, he's looking forward to it. He's like, you got to ask him about Larry Holmes. I'm like, don't worry, I got it covered. It's all good.
Oh God, it's gonna be good though.
Brady, I just gotta ask, who weighs more right now, a prime Butterbean or you?
It's tough. It's tough biscuit. So I was looking at some old videos of us, and I'm like, holy shit, I was lean, mean, green, looking like the Hulk. Dude, now I'm looking like a Butterbean.
I've gained some weight too, to be honest. But yeah, your face was a lot more chiseled back in the day. But we got to get you on that training systems.
I'll be a couple weeks. You watch.
Okay. I'm holding you to that. But let's get to the fights.
All right.
So, actually, there was a lot of boxing this past weekend. It was actually a pretty good weekend for boxing. I had a good time. Watched fights from like 3 o'clock in the afternoon all the way until like 2 in the morning.
You got to see knockouts and robberies. Everybody hashtag knockouts and robberies.
Yeah, hashtags knockouts and robberies. But let's start off with for Josh Kelly card. So I didn't know this was happening. Former British Olympian. I believe he won a medalist. I'm pretty sure he's a medalist. 26 years old, highly touted welterweight prospect. He was this was his like coming out party. If he won this fight, he was going to be like jumping on the scene, fighting the top dogs. He fights David Adavazian, I believe his name is. A guy who's like a fringe contender in that welterweight division, but it was for the European title. And he suffered a really bad cut to the back of his head early, and then he got cut on the eye, and he got stopped in the 6th round. Just cornered through the towel, and he was just getting beat up pretty bad.
Is that the upset?
Huge upset, man. Yeah. I don't like his style, man. I said that from the beginning of the fight. I was like, I'd never seen him fight before. I messaged Aiden. I'm like, Aiden, your boy's style is too like he's not the slick enough fighter to fight the way he is. He fights fully like this in the middle of the ring. You can't fight like that in the middle of the ring unless your name's Floyd Mayweather. I'm sorry. It's just a hard style to master.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I checked out some highlights, but I just seen a huge upset. We should have put some money on that.
We should have. My buddy put money on it, won a lot of money on it. But anyways, I hope he bounces back. He seems like a good prospect, but it opens up the door for big fights for David Adavazian. So we'll see what happens with him.
For sure. Now, I want to get into, we'll get into the Wallin versus Brazil.
Dude, Wallin is a real dude. We both picked him to win the fight, but I didn't think he was going to win every round like that.
Yeah, he looked good.
He's a real player in the heavyweight division. I mean, if you didn't see the fight, he definitely took years off of Dominic Brazil's life. He landed how many clean left hands? Like, it was ridiculous.
And the fact that he has a competitive fight with Tyson Fury.
That's one of those wins that's going to age better over time. So I think Otto Wallin's a problem for anybody in the heavyweight division ranked 5 through 10.
Yeah, honestly, I'd like to see him fight Deontay Wilder next.
That's a hard fight for Wilder. The only thing about that is that we all know if Wilder touched you, it's over. So here's my thing with that. Wallin hit Brazil with everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like, destroyed him. 12 rounds of just boxing him up, hitting with destructive left hands. How hard does Deontay Wilder hit to hit Brazil one time and put him down?
That's for sure. I'll give him that.
It's crazy. I think Andy Ruiz versus Otto Wallin's the fight to make. They're both on Showtime. Let's make that happen.
That's a good fight. Ruiz hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah,
he got the Maidana treatment.
Yeah,
but he can't get fat after. so it is what it is.
Him and Wilder though.
What about Andy Ruiz versus Butterbean?
Prime versus Prime. I mean, Ruiz has got to win that fight. He has to. But like, I'd be going for Butterbean.
For sure. All right, but we did have what I said. I actually watched this fight and thought it was a huge robbery. I had it 7-5, I think, or 8-4, maybe even more than that, and it was a clear-cut decision for I can't even pronounce his name.
Santiago, I think Giovanni Santiago.
Yeah, and Puerto Rican, I'm pretty sure, and he had what, 900 followers on Instagram.
Not even.
That's crazy. But seemed like actually he could be competitive over the next couple of years.
So here's the thing. I think he's only 30 years old. I think he's younger than Broner. He came into the fight with no hype. He was a last-minute replacement because the guys they had for Broner to take the fight kept falling out. One guy got COVID. One guy got hurt. He came to fight. He knew this was his moment. He never fought outside of Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. He won the first round because on CompuBox, Broner didn't land a single punch. So Broner can't win that round. Physically cannot win. Then the 12th round, Broner got bullied. So that's 2 rounds. Giovanni only needs 4 more rounds to at least get a draw. And between rounds 2 and 10, he definitely won 4 more rounds.
Yeah, and the thing is like, I want to get some off. I just want to talk about this first. Is it true that he only had $13 to his name?
So I know he was very broke. He was facing a lot of he had to pay money to his baby mamas. He owed money. The government was coming after him, but I think about tax evasion, I believe, as well. And he had like a sexual assault charge or something. He had a lot of things coming against him. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. There was something along the lines of that. He was poor. I don't know if $13, but he wasn't the millionaire he should be from these paydays he's had.
And he's not, and he still wore about billions.
And he still wore about billions.
How much do you take home? I think he said like 13.
He said 13 million, but I don't know, man. No live gate. It was like a no-name opponent. I don't. A few million. I'd say a couple million.
He should be good if he spends his money proper, which he won't.
But I don't see him ever getting on to another major organization because let's just look at that fight. That fight itself was terrible. Whether you think he won or not, it was a terrible performance, right?
Yeah, no activity.
Then in the post-fight, he's getting interviewed by Bryant Gumbel, I believe. Not Bryant Gumbel, someone else.
He starts trashing.
Starts trashing Steve Farhood.
Yeah.
Mr. Showtime.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
What's
I don't know,
on?
man. Like, you can't. They're gonna be like, look, bro. Like, if he came and he dominated, he'd be undeniable. You have to bring him back on Showtime. Be like, yeah, okay, sorry, Mr. Farhood. You have to accept the fact this guy just shit on you, but he brings in views. He's a good fighter. We have to bring him back. He's not that guy. He's not that guy anymore.
He's not, no. And he might be off to the zone or something. If they sign him.
Bro, he's talking about winning belts at 140. First of all, he couldn't even make weight. They had to pump the fight up to 147. And Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez would knock this guy out.
Yeah, it's bad matchups for him. I mean, it's his first win, I think since what, 2017 or 2018?
Yeah, like 4 years or something crazy like that.
I just don't understand how you're broke after fighting Manny Pacquiao.
It's unacceptable.
For sure. But we do have some, well, I was going to say good fights this weekend, but the pound-for-pound king. Oh.
No, we had the ESPN card, the biggest fight of the weekend for me on the boxing side.
Oh, yes.
So Miguel Berchelt was defending his WBC title against, Oscar Valdez. I had a little brain fart there. And a big thing coming to this fight was they both were huge Julio Cesar Chavez fans growing up. And Chavez defended his 130-pound title 9 times. Berchelt was looking for his 7th title defense on this night. Mm-hmm. So he was closing in on that Julio Cesar Chavez mark. And in a 3-1 underdog, which your boy picked, Oscar Valdez came out, outboxed him, and knocked him out cold. Did you see that, bro?
I did not see this.
Dude, it was like Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades-esque. Like, both of these guys, they just need to make caskets for these guys because they were out for like a long time. It was actually disturbing how long those two were asleep.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I'll have to check the highlights of this fight. I didn't even clue into that one. I was too much of the Broner and Lewis,
So that sets up a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson, who's in that division now. Mm-hmm. You got Carl Frampton versus Jamel Herring for the WBO coming up next month. So the winner of that might fight Valdez. You still got Leo Santa Cruz there. That division is stacked. Tevin Farmer, your boy, Jojo Diaz. It's a stacked division, man. So there's a lot of good fights to be made in that division. So I'm looking forward to see what 130 pounds does going forward.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe him versus Tevin Farmer. That'd be a good fight.
I think Tevin versus JoJo makes sense. Run that one back.
That'd be good too.
Yeah, but that's what we had this past weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed those fights. I was trying to get you MMA fans to go check those ones out because I was really excited about this weekend for the boxing side. And this weekend we got a couple fights for you as well.
Yeah, the pound for pound king fights who?
Avni Yildirim.
Okay.
Okay. Is it not? Is it the fight you want to see? No. But he's fighting 4 times this year.
That is true, and we don't get to see Canelo fight often, honestly. I'd like to see. I find when these boxers get more popular, they go and forget where they came from. Like Canelo had a record of what 40-0 or at one point, and he was fighting frequently because he had to. Now he doesn't have to. That's what happens. It's not that these guys can't. It's they don't want to because they don't want to risk it. Now let's break down this fight since we got a little hate. We got to break these down a little more.
Guys, I don't have a problem breaking down fights for you, but you know what breaking I do. We have to bring our what we do. We make it funny. We make it fun for you. We talk about the fights that we think that you guys want to hear. Because if we're into it, you're probably into it. If we're not into it, you're probably not into it. That's the way it is. Because
that's how it goes.
There's just there's some fights and cards that nobody cares about. It's just the way it is.
Unless you're Aiden.
Unless you're Aiden.
So let's break this down a little bit, though. Do you know anything about Canelo's opponent?
Yeah. So Yildirim gave Anthony Dirrell a tough fight. He was getting outboxed and he was losing the fight, but he pressured Dirrell hard and cut Dirrell, and the fight had to get stopped to a technical decision, and it ended in the 10th round, and they had to go to the cards because the cut was so bad. So Dirrell won on points, but it was he pushed Dirrell a little bit. And he also got stopped by Chris Eubanks Jr. Those are his 2 defeats.
So his record's what, 20-something-2?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, let's just go with that. So he has his 2 losses are to good competition.
Yes.
But they're not competition to. It's not. What's it called? Like if he's losing to those guys, even though they're good, he's not going to lose to Canelo.
Right. Yeah. So he's 21-2. He's 21-2.
So it's kind of looking like a puncher's chance kind of situation where everyone has 2 fists. Canelo could get clipped. Canelo eats shots so well. That's really all I'm giving him in this fight is Canelo's too big, too strong even in this weight class, and he's just going to work the body, do his thing, and he'll stop him 8th round.
Do you remember the James Kirkland fight? Canelo Kirkland?
No.
Okay, so if you guys don't remember that fight, James Kirkland came out and came at Canelo hard, like really hard. Canelo backed him up, was against the ropes catching shots, and he ended up countering him and dropping him like 3 or 4 times. Like he ended the fight in the 3rd round. Look for that kind of performance. Canelo, his counterpunching's only gotten better. His defense has only gotten better. I doubt he even gets caught on the ropes. He'll probably counter him in the middle of the ring. Yildirim's pressure style is going to make it a fun fight forever how long it lasts. He's going to put the pressure on. He's going to make Canelo work, but he's going to get knocked out.
For sure. What round are you picking? I got the 8.
4. Round 4.
Quick.
He's getting rid of him quickly.
So are you going to put money on this fight? No, I'm just kidding. There's not much money to be made.
I think a good bet would be the under. I bet the rounds are probably like 6 to 8, somewhere in there. I would go under on that.
Okay, so if you're looking, Marshall says he's a Canelo guy. If you want to make some money, there's the way how on Canelo.
That's it. That's the best way. You're not gonna want, if you bet straight win with Canelo, you have to put like thousands of dollars to get anything. So that's
for sure. All right, so is that all we got for boxing this week?
Anthony Dirrell, speaking of devil, actually has a little return match on Fox. Not a household name, but hopefully he gets a win, and that'll get him back in title contention. And then we have
he's
Joseph
getting old
Parker,
though, right?
Yeah, he's 37-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah, he's coming off a loss.
Yeah, to Benavidez. He fought Benavidez.
It's true.
But and then we also have Joseph Parker taking on Junior Fa. Apparently, they fought a few times in the amateurs. They I don't know. Joseph Parker he just hasn't done much since his fight with Dillian White. I don't know what's gonna happen with him.
Yeah, well, he puts himself in the mix, so maybe he could fight Wallen if he wins, because that's a name.
That's a good fight. That's a
There
very
we
good
go.
fight.
If he
Yes,
wins.
I like that. If he wins. If he wins.
So shout out to Joseph Parker.
Shout out to
Or
Joseph Parker.
Pulov.
Pulov took some damage. Let that man relax for a minute.
All right, guys, we're out.
All right, guys, take it easy.